What's going on, everybody? How you doing? In today's video, we are doing a donation request. This is for Rob. This is 10,000 Maniacs. The song is Eden. This is off of Our Time in Eden, their 5th album from 1992. This is still with Natalie Merchant. We're going to be doing two. One today, one tomorrow. Okay, so this is Eden, and tomorrow's is going to be If You Intend. So Rob, let's see, what does he say? Rob's thing is most of the members of the band, or all the members of the band, wrote the song Eden, but only Natalie Merchant wrote If You Intend. He'd like to know if I can tell that Eden was written by committee versus just Natalie solo, and how can I tell? And then there's a little bit of some other things. It's not like she's actually writing the drum parts, right? I mean, it's kind of the same thing as, like, think about how you've heard interviews of Rush talking about, like, they'll have Geddy and Alex will have like a drum machine or some kind of pattern that's there or whatever, and Neil is hearing it and he's either going to do something that's similar or he's going to adapt, you know, there's some kind of adaptation. This is actually a really big controversy. It's been a big controversy for a long time with music and songwriting because drummers don't get credit. They don't tend to get credit at all for songwriting, even though they may be creating an integral part, potentially even some kind of hook, you know, something that's signature to the song that becomes signature, right? Does that make sense? Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight, something like that, even though that's not a good example, but it is a good example, you know what I mean. But that's actually a really big thing that's widely contended. It's kind of wild to me that actually Rush didn't just do it all. I mean, it ended up being 3 ways anyways, just because Neil was doing the lyrics. But just musically, it's like the drums are so much a part of their music that it's like, you think this guy didn't write music? So, that being said, I mean, she may give some kind of input, some kind of like idea, some kind of direction. Also, maybe the producer may also give some kind of direction, some kind of input, some kind of like, okay, this is like an 8th note feel, or this is like a 16th note hi-hat kind of feel, this is a halftime feel, this is like, yeah, things like that. I feel like it kind of depends, and who honestly really knows. You know, we're never gonna fully know how they specifically did it, but there are all kinds of ways. Lots of times there'll be some kind of idea, or they'll listen to it. The drummer will listen to it and it'll be like, you know, all right, let me just try something and you tell me if I'm going in the right direction. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I love that. Or I kind of like this section, but I didn't like this section. I need more momentum. I need more, maybe go to the ride over there. So things like that, you know, and then it just gets worked out and it gets figured out and they come up with something that they all like, right? So anyways, that's the deal with that. Okay, so let's get into this first song, Eden. If you're new here, please subscribe, check out my videos, all kinds of videos, reaction videos, bass videos, music videos, check it out. If you like the channel, you want to support the channel, you can hit super thanks underneath this video. You can hit me direct in the description. I got PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Amazon wishlist, mailing address, and I do donation requests just like this one. So if there's something you want me to watch, listen to, talk about, hit me direct, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo in the notes section. Leave a link, leave a description, let me know what you want the video to be on, and I'll make the video. You can also email me at jpanreadsemail@gmail.com. Thank you guys. All right, Eden, 10,000 Maniacs. Let's get to this. Bam. This has a floaty feel to it. And it's because of the harmony. Interesting song. Okay, so the reason why that song sounded like it was floating the whole time, do you understand? Do you get that? Did you get that feel? Right? It kind of feels like it's like not centered the whole time. Like it's just like kind of up in the air the whole time. Is because they never went to the one chord. They never went to the one chord. Not really. Not really. I mean, they kind of did, but not really. Okay, the bass player played the third. So it was an inverted one chord, right? It was an inversion of the one chord, okay? But they ended the entire song on the one chord, which is like, oh, wow, this is kind of interesting. But the whole time, they would just start on the four chord, and then they would go down, four, that's the bass playing the third of the one chord. They were playing the one chord there, but it didn't feel that way. It didn't sound that way because the bass player was playing the third. The third was on the bottom of the chord. That's an inversion, right? That's what's called an inversion, right, of the chord. There's first inversion, which is the third. There's second inversion, which is the fifth, right? A chord is made up of root, third, fifth, right? First inversion would be the third at the bottom. Second inversion would be the fifth at the bottom, and it's a seventh. If it's a seventh chord, then the seventh would be at the bottom. That's a third inversion, right? So anyways, it's just a little bit of dumb theory here, okay? But the whole time, and then they would go to the five and build it up, but then they would just jump right back to the four and go back and forth between the four and the three. They did that the entire song. Sometimes they would go to the six, right? They would go to the two, but they didn't land on the one until the very, very end, like the last chord of the song when they were just sitting on it. That was kind of interesting. It was nice. It was nice. Yeah, it's cool. But that's like what I get out of this song. It's like it had this like floating feel. And the whole like by committee, I mean, I'm not going to know. Now I need to listen to the next song in terms of if I can tell or not. But the whole committee thing could literally be they're rehearsing or they're having some kind of session where they're working out new songs. And the guitar player, while everyone's there, And the guitar player could be like, hey, I got this part I kind of like. Hey, what do you guys think about these changes? And they may start jamming on it, and it becomes something. Then everybody wrote it, right? Because everybody's in the room at the creation of the song. Everyone had input, everyone did their thing. As opposed to if you have a song like this next song that we're going to come and check out, where Natalie probably was sitting at the piano and wrote the song, wrote the changes, wrote the words and the melody, and was like, hey guys, here's the song. Check this out. Let's play it. Let's work this out. This is my song that you guys are getting, that kind of thing. And then what they play could be worked out, but it's still her song because she wrote the melody and the harmony and the lyrics. Does that make sense? So, anyways, this is nice. It was cool. Hopefully you get what I mean by it's floating and understand all that little bit of tiny harmony bit or whatever, but that's why it feels like that. Because they never were at the home chord. There was never that feeling of home, that feeling of one. I mean, that's what it is. It's the one chord. There was no feeling of one the entire time until the very end. So, interesting. All right. Thank you guys. I'll catch you in the next video.